Finally, we're together. I mean, together, like, it's us. I want you to know how special you are to me. I just feel so alive when I look at you. You know, I see things now that I didn't see before. I have a sense of clarity and purpose. It's like destiny, you know? I feel like I'm the one that's discovered beautiful and perfection. I want to climb to the top of Everest and say, I know what beauty is! I am in love with the Vizio!
Vizio.
Do we need to introduce Chris Taylor? Everybody knows who Chris Taylor is, right?
Everybody knows who Chris Taylor is.
You mastered economic planning.
I.e., I haven't got a clue.
That explains the resource model in Supreme Commander.
Oh no, ouch. Can you bring that pot of coffee over and just pour it straight down my throat?
You need more.
Oh, I think I'm going to keep up here. With all seriousness though, the way the economy works is very much, and I mean this quite seriously, very much like a real economy.
Okay.
If you're building a high-rise tower, I say that you don't have to pay for the bathroom fixtures for the 50th floor. You just have to worry about paying the guys driving the concrete.
What kind of balance does a really good player strike between tactics play and then the economic side?
If you really aren't an economics guru, you can still take your opponent down with great strategy. But man, on the smaller maps, a rush game is still possible, but if a good player knows you're rushing and sets up a really nice early defense, you're going to cripple yourself because you're going to blow all that early investment. Instead of putting it back into your economy, you're going to put it into a bunch of units. They'll be taken out, and your opponent's going to come back at you with Tech 2 with stronger stuff and probably win.
How much of Supreme Commander is lessons learned from Total Annihilation, and then how much of it is something else? How much of it is, we're years removed from that? How much of it is Supreme Commander?
The sad reality is I never made any notes. All I did was
Screw it, we don't need notes.
A lot of the things that I thought were going to be big actually didn't turn out to be that important. The things like the strategic zoom really had the biggest impact, and it's something that I came up with just as the project started, and it's turned out to be one of the greatest things about the game. But as far as the relationship to Total Annihilation, it's just about, to me, packing a game full of all the latest ideas and latest thinking about what would make a game more strategic and more dramatic and more fun and more entertaining than what we could do 10 years ago, quite honestly.
Like you said, I mean, you guys are really pushing hardware. Realistically, Is there a computer out there right now that can run this thing at everything full bore?
Absolutely. I mean, if you've got a dual core box with 2 gigs of RAM and a reasonably decent video card, you're fine. It's not a video card bound game. It's a CPU bound game, which means you do want a lot of power.
Okay.
But the fact is, you really don't start to run into that until you get into the big intense battles. I mean, if you play on the smaller maps, if you play against, say, one other person, you're gonna be okay. But boy, when you get into those big games, 4, 6 players, yeah, you're gonna need at least a dual core to get through some of that.
You know, I mean, I think that you touched on it right at the beginning of this conversation, how important it was to have the mouse wheel where you can roll all the way out to strategic view and roll right back in. It takes a little while to get accustomed to that. I mean, we've all learned how to click in a mini map and reposition the map, whereas with this game, you just roll out, reposition, and roll back in.
Yeah.
It's learning tricks like that. It's learning how to open the multiple windows that I think keeps up with it. So
Oh,
that's
I
why I
see.
was saying that's a lot to keep up with.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. We give great tools to do that. We've got some canonical overlays, some ranges. So we've got a lot of tools that they can use to get their head around it. It's a strategy game that takes strategy to that next level, and it gives people something to really sink their teeth into who love it. You know, and the cool thing about Supreme Commander is, let's say that's not for all what I just described isn't for you. You don't want to split your screen and do this and have dual monitor. You play on the smaller maps. The game scales right back down to what you remember as being kind of an RTS that you can wrap your head around. So the game effectively scales map size as a control mechanism to what you want to do.
Hopefully, you're gonna be playing online. soon?
Absolutely. Yeah, actually, I go by my old handle, Dr. Death.
What's the Chris Taylor faction?
You know, I move around.
Oh, come on. Which one's the favorite?
Well,
gotta
you know
cop
what?
to
If
it.
I were going to play you right now, I'd probably play UEF because I love the Tech 3 gunships. I just love those things. They're big and chunky, and the way they did throw down devastation, it's a hoot. So I'd play UEF right now.
All right, I'm gonna be looking for you. All right, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Looking forward to playing with you.
Thanks.
That's it. No one's getting through. Dude! Fuck! What was that building was for? Whoa! Sweet ride, man.
Oh, thanks, man. You remember when we got this?
Oh yeah.
Nintendo made a big deal about how the Wii is like for everybody,
Right.
for all ages. So we decided, well, we'll put them to the test and see. We got our own old people,
Our own.
round them up, and yeah, let them play a bunch of games. We started out with the obvious stuff, like we did Wii bowling,
Right.
and Wii tennis.
Right. All the Wii Sports. Yeah.
Yeah, all the Wii Sports games. And then we moved it up. We stepped it up a bit. Did Excite Truck.
Well, I think we stepped it up when we did Wii Boxing.
Oh yeah.
That was the most awesome part.
What game do you think they enjoyed the most out of everything we brought? Like, what do you think?
Excite Truck.
Excite Truck?
Yeah, because a lot of them were like, oh, I miss driving.
Oh, I miss driving. You're a better driver than I am. You know that? Get out of my way! Oh, God. Oh, I'm
It was a good time. We I guess they gave us the scooter. I don't know. It was just sitting there in the hall, and then we broke out Red Steel, and that's where things started to go wrong.
That could be counted as abuse, actually.
Yeah.
For them. I mean.
I know. I'm surprised we got away with it.
I know.
Probably the state's going to close us down.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think overall Nintendo, you know, they're right. The Wii is pretty much for all ages. They all had a good time with it, and when we left, they said they were going to have a meeting, and they were going to look into the treasury and see maybe if they'll add the Wii next to their karaoke machine.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun there. It was cool.
I gotta take a shit.
Onslaught going away, Assault going away, but are they really going away? What's happening? What's happening with those? How's single player going to work?
So really, our new Warfare game type really has all the cool elements of Onslaught and Assault. So I think it's a really exciting thing. I don't think anyone is going to feel like their favorite game type is gone. I mean, you'll still, if you were an Onslaught fan, you'll still be able to find all those things you liked about Onslaught in the Warfare game type, and the same with Assault. I think we've really found a good combination that's kind of the best of both worlds.
What's the chances of there being co-op for Unreal?
Oh, we'll absolutely have co-op in our campaign. I mean, I think we'll have co-op in two different ways. You'll be able to play through the single-player campaign in co-op, and probably in some of the matches you'll have bot teammates to fill out your team on some of the larger matches. But 4-player was the right sweet spot in terms of being able to play it for all the different scale kind of missions that you're going to have in the single-player campaign. And I think 4-player is going to be, I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun. Matches that you set up now that you go play online against other players, you'll also be able to set those up to play co-op mode. So you could play, 8 human players versus 8 bots in, CTF Face or whatever CTF maps we provide. Actually, I don't know that Face is going to ship with this game, but
Face confirmed.
Examples. We still have a lot of work to do on the bots, but they're already significantly better than they were in Unreal Tournament 2004. But I think one case, that kind of shows that we succeeded there is that we actually at the Gamers Day event at Midway, we had 8 stations, but we always had 10 players, so there were always at least 2 bots on the game. And there's a bunch of reports saying, oh, we didn't get to see bots yet. So as far as those people are concerned, they never realized that they were playing against bots.
Hold on, but wait, what was the name of that thing? There's an official name, the Dark Walker.
Oh god.
What did you do with the Dark Walker?
It's hard to say. I mean, Epic obviously knows how to balance their games. They've been doing it a long time. But in an environment like this, where you've got just a bunch of people that, I mean, who knows how many people here really seriously play these games? I'm calling you guys out. I just took the Dark Walker and walk it right up to their base and spawn camp, base raid. Sit there, and every time someone comes out the front door, where their flag room's at, just blow them away over and over again. And I did it like just dozens of them. And
I thought about doing that myself too, but I didn't want to be the jerk, but clearly you wanted to. Dark Walker the most. I mean, the thing that I wanted to try that they were mentioning is like that it's got the two-person seat, like this, because the alternative fire like blows things out from beneath it. Would almost make it like an unstoppable vehicle at that point. I mean, if you get 2 people in that thing.
For me, a lot of the part that I enjoyed the most about Unreal was man-on-man combat, you know, with weapons, and I enjoyed what the vehicles brought to the equation, but at the same time, they kind of distracted me a little bit, I think, from some of that in-your-face.
First of all, we still have what we call classic deathmatch and CTF levels that feels very much, you know, they're tight interior spaces, that in-your-face, close combat between players. So we feel like we've got a lot of those kinds of levels that offer that. And then also, even within the warfare mode, there are some levels that don't have vehicles, or there are also a lot of levels where there's a combination of big open terrain areas where you're going to, you know, do a lot of your fighting with vehicles, and also small bases where that vehicles can get into that then you have to dismount and go in and fight on foot.
You can see other things that show me that they are considering that sort of thing. Is that, did you notice all the paths that were infantry only, where you couldn't get a vehicle into it out larger than like a hover bike?
There's an area with the like the water mill or whatever, like you could walk into. Yeah.
There's like a cave and a water mill, and it was like you can't, even though you can duck down in the walker, you couldn't get them inside those things. So that's cool. At least, I mean, create places where you can escape. You're not just sitting in the middle of a battlefield running away from like the God weapon over and over again.
From the dark depths of space, the Necrus armies attacked the Tyrrhenian mining colonies. The Tricasts called it a corporate skirmish, but you lost everything. Your family, your friends, your entire clan. Now you're fighting for all you have left. Revenge. From Epic Games, the studio that brought you Gears of War, Unreal Tournament 3.
Everyone is in love with Gears right now. It's a very hot property. How much crossover influence is there between Gears and Unreal?
We don't really have an identity crisis between those two titles. I mean, the art styles are extremely different. Obviously, Gears has this very gritty, desaturated look to it, whereas Unreal Tournament is very colorful and bright and...
Not wholly different. Come on, they're very similar. They're very similar in the architecture styles, in the armor styles, in the...
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
I don't see it. You know, I really don't, actually. I think people that play UT aren't going to get the mistaken identity that they're playing Gears. I mean, you know, even if you think there are artistic similarities, which I kind of dispute that, one's going 40 miles an hour, one's going 4 miles an hour. They're just totally different speed of game. One's got a maximum of 8 users, and the other, we don't even know what the maximum is yet. So, I mean, to me, that's a different style of game, right? I mean, Gears is about being up close in your face, and UT is about flying, driving, swimming, shooting, hoverboarding. I mean, it's a much more high-speed kind of thrill ride than Gears is. Gears is more get up there and beat the hell out of the guy. There's probably a whole legion of people out there who never heard of Unreal, that are Gears fans, and that, it uses the Unreal Engine, and they maybe, until we started the publicity for UT3, maybe didn't really associate the two together because it wasn't in their sphere of influence. They may be console users, and so they don't care or listen to games that are out on PC. So I think, that's up for history to decide which, how Epic is known. We want to make every game great, so we're known for making great games, but at the same time, I don't think there's all that many fans out there. When you start getting up into the millions in sales, Microsoft is, told me the other day we had a bit of a dispute over this, and they're like, people barely know who makes any of these games. They just know the game, and they just know that it's on Xbox. And that's probably true. There's probably a lot of people like that. So history will decide, what we're remembered for. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be everything we do.
Dude, Davik's armor is fucking totally ugly, dude.
Yeah, Davik's armor blows.
It's like purple.
Yeah, but you got the download pack, so you can go to Yavin now and you can get the good armor.
Oh shit, I've never played with the pack before. That's gonna be sweet.
Well, you don't want like the armor. I mean, like for cars.
Hey, who's there?
Who's there?
Hey guys.
Well team, dude.
Hello.
Oh, hey guys. What's happening?
Rough beer.
How you feeling?
Oh, you know. I feel like there's someone with a knife stabbing me in the groin, like pretty much constantly. But I'm playing KOTOR, so it's all good.
Oh, did you find out that you're Revan yet?
Well, I've already played it before, so I knew that, but no, not at this game, dick.
Now we're gonna have to put a fucking KOTOR spoiler alert on this piece. Great. I brought Flo.
Whoa. Ooh. Did you want to sit
Yes.
and do nothing?
Sure.
Oh, I'm orange. Don't come near me.
What
I'll
do you-
eat you.
What do you do in this game?
You eat things.
You eat things.
Okay, so you're like this single-celled organism when you start, right? And then you start eating things. And the more you eat things, the bigger you get.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And then the more you eat things, the bigger you get. See, I'm orange right now, so
Yeah.
that means I can eat you.
Don't
And
eat
then
me.
we just ate him. Oh yeah. See, like right now we're just a little mouse. We're like hum 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 hum.
Sure.
There's very little like punitive elements. Like, you know, like a lot of people keep comparing this to Geometry Wars, and it's
And
totally
why?
retarded.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Because there's no like anxiety associated with it. You can't fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with Geometry
Yeah.
Wars at all.
I feel like look at how big this thing is. Oh fuck, eat it. Oh fuck. Oh dip dip.
It's definitely great looking. I mean,
I'm like tiny there.
it's got a very unique style, and I do like the beautiful, pretty high-res graphics.
I do wish that it offered analog control, like just give me that option. Because I felt like part of the game was like getting used to the control, and like you tilt forward, right, and you go up. You tilt back and you swim down.
Yeah.
And then you can swim left or right, but you can like
Yeah, the
you can
controls.
use the full 6-axis.
It's really
and
good.
It begins to feel like a three-dimensional. You get like a three-dimensional sense of movement.
So far, I've liked every game that I've played with motion control. I know I'm one of the
You're
few that likes.
yeah, you're like the last defender of motion control.
Yeah, like I love MotorStorm with motion control, and
Totally works.
when I played Lair, I was really into Lair's motion control, and this I really like too.
And then each creature moves differently, and they each have these different attacks. Like this particular creature, like when you press the button, and
Zoom attack.
he does this like locked on zoom attack. But there's another creature that does this. My favorite creature probably looks a lot like this one, but what he does is he like stuns. Like you'll go totally still and you'll turn green and you'll stun whatever creature is like floating over you, and then that creature isn't moving. It's so rad. Eating things gives you health.
Right.
And then you get bigger with these like three-legged doodobbies, three-legged eyes, curly Q eyes.
So those things, because that's one thing I haven't figured out is like the different things that you eat, like what they do.
Mhm.
So there's parts that build onto you and parts that give you health, or do they all do kind of the same thing? I'm
There's
like really not.
like the way I figured it out is like the three-legged doodobbies, and this could be wrong. They help you build on, and then you fill them up and make them. They go from like clear to opaque if you eat things.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Does that seem like what's going on? Like the only instructions when this game starts is like ask a friend to play, hit start, you know,
Yeah,
and
that's what's so
go
good about
tilt the controller to move, and that's like it's like part of the game.
Games have such a hard-coded reliance on on tutorials now and like teaching you everything that you're allowed to do at the moment that you gain a new ability. Like it shows you like how to do it for 20 minutes and it tells you which button press and make sure that you
skip it.
It's really clever. I mean,
Dude, it's not really clever though. It's Pac-Man without the constraints of a level in a character that evolves based on what you're eating. Like
not
you're
Pac-Man.
overthinking this game. That's just
no, it's not.
It's
I'll tell you why.
Screensaver.
I'll tell you why it's
absolutely
not
not
Pac-Man. It's not Pac-Man because there is no score. There is no points.
Score,
there's no
punitive
stage.
quality. There's no point where you're stressing out because, oh shit, I need a power pellet because a ghost is right on my ass.
Right. It's not.
There's
Games
nothing.
stress you out. Like you get stressed. Like
Yes.
where it's like you're willing to make like
Have you
you're willing
played
to,
Geometry
you're
Wars?
willing- you're willing- you're willing to sit and argue like this game's really good because it doesn't stress me out. Like the game's a glorified screensaver. Anything
No,
beyond
it's
that, it's
different.
like
It's something
Does the game
different.
have
Like
to stress
every
you out
other
like
every
the
other
game?
game has a punitive quality. Every other game has like some element that like you win or you lose, and like this game just doesn't. There's no like winning or losing. There's just,
no, there is winning or losing because there's a finite conclusion. It's not eternal. You get to the end and you eat your way through the credits. I mean, there
But
is
even
an
once
end.
you eat your way through the credits, which is pretty freaking cool, even once you do that, you can go back. You can go back to any form that you've been and swim around again. And each time you do, depending on like what you eat and what order you go in and how bad you get hurt and what happens, like your form changes. You look different. Like I did not look like this last time. I looked slightly different. At least I don't remember if I looked like this.
It's like you just play it. It you could play it for 5 minutes and be like, oh, this is cool or this is dumb. It's whatever. And
It's certainly not for everybody, but I mean, I do tend to think that like it was just the right price at free, and it's probably a little too much at $8. I mean, I would pay like $5 for this and be perfectly happy because, I mean, if you do have a high def television, if you do have a sweet system with like Dolby 5.1 surround sound or it fucking supports
Yeah, 'cause
THX.
sound
like
helps
this
in
would,
this so much.
Oh yeah, and this game would be awesome for showing off your system, And anybody could pick this up and do this and feel like they were winning because, you are.
because it's not about winning or losing in this game.
No.
It's just about fucking around. But that's why I think a lot of people won't be getting into it.
It's not terrible, but it's not good either, and it's not worth $8 under any possibility or scope of the imagination. It's
Really?
not worth $8. No, absolutely not.
Then I don't know, I guess you just don't respect
I guess if you
art
spend-
as much.
if you
It's
spend-
like
no, it doesn't. You don't get to boil it down to like, well, is this art or is this a game?
I'm not-
It doesn't-
I didn't even
it
say
doesn't
that.
get-
I'm-
I mean, it's not about like respecting an art. It's not about that at all. It's about
Why
like,
not?
is this worth $8 of a consumer's money? No.
Why
It's
not?
because it's not a game.
No, I disagree with you because I think it is like I could spend 2 hours with this and then I paid the same amount that I paid to go see a movie and it fucked around for 2 hours and the movie cost me $10, this cost me $8. Plus I can play it whenever I want. I can show it off to my friends whenever I want. It's not a one-time like service charge to get in. Like I get it, it's mine and then I can use it whenever I
Value
want.
proposition's right for you, then buy it. It's not for me. I wouldn't spend money on it.
Right, but you just made a fucking blanket statement about how it's not worth it for anyone, not just for you.
It's not worth $8. This is not what you should be getting from $8. This is not what you should spend $8 on. It's $8 for gestural controls.
That's
and
the thing.
it just
I'd
is
rather
the-
have this for $8 than like the majority of Wii games.
You're not gonna find an argument.
So did my Rascal come yet? Crispin said he was getting me a Rascal.
Yeah, Crispin's been terrorizing the entire office on your Rascal, so.
Well, it's his. I guess it was his Wii. He just told me I could use it because I was going to be all fucking operated upon. But,
Well, yeah, it's waiting for you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's totally pimped it out, though. He's totally pimped his ride. He was inspired by the old people to completely pimp his ride.
I would just, if I had a Rascal, I would use the handicap stall every time without thinking about it twice. I love the space. It's so spacious.
Got that bar.
Yeah, I love the bar.
Where you going with that thing?